I don't know if you guys noticed this. In the trailer released for Aces of Thunder, there is a new feature that we have never before seen in War Thunder or in War Thunder Sim that you can now do in this new game. And I believe that their selection of aircraft to be released with this game, Aces of Thunder, is specifically related to this new ability that we've spotted. So I'll play the trailer in the background as I speak here, and I'll let you guys try to take a guess as to what it is I'm talking about, right? You have all these new planes, World War II aircraft, but as you notice, you can use your hands, right? Now that is a completely new feature, but it's not the one I'm talking about. In War Thunder, already you can play it in VR on a PC, but you still cannot use hand controls. Like let's say if you have an Oculus or a Hive, or right, Vive, something like that. You can't use your hand controls. You still have to use mouse and keyboard, which can completely ruin the immersion, right? But you're in VR, but you're still typing on buttons to move what you want to move. In this new game, Aces of Thunder, you can use your hands to move things around the cockpit. That's from main controls to what I hopefully is going to be like the open cockpit, using flaps, different things like that. But if you have a keen eye, you may have just noticed that as the backseat gunner of a Dauntless dive bomber, you could specifically grab the back gunner controls and swift them around to shoot down that enemy Zero. Now mind you, this is something that you could have done if you had VR on PC in War Thunder, but you would have been using a mouse or controller, right? Completely immersive braking. In this new game, Aces of Thunder, you are going to be able to grab the controls, the 50 cals, right? Or the 30 cals, I think it might be dual 30s. I'd have to double check the footage. And you can aim it. Just aim it up the sky and manually guide it like you would if you were an actual backseat gunner. That adds an entire new complexity to Aces of Thunder, right? And a whole new experience that we've never had before. I mean, the immersion of that is amazing. And I would love it if like the controllers vibrated, and I believe they're called touch controllers because they have haptic sensors that when you grab onto things, you can feel it, right? It presses into your hand and you can feel that you're touching something like if you were in the virtual space. So imagine holding those two machine guns. Bop, 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 bop. That's awesome. That is so freaking cool. And it's not something we've seen before, and I really wanted to highlight it. I kind of mentioned it in the video from yesterday. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out, links above. But as I said earlier in this video, I believe it's also impacting the choice of aircraft that Gaijin is deciding to add into this new game. If you haven't noticed, the only 3 aircraft that we've seen with any type of gunner position is the IL-2, the BF-110, and the one I just said, the Dauntless. There we go. Now, there have been a 4th one, which is an HE-111, but they've only been noted in this one clip where they are very clearly being AI controlled in this giant bomber formation. So we'll chalk it up to just the original 3 I was saying. All 3 of those only have a single gunner position. The IL-2 is 20 mil, you got the BF-110 with the MG-34 or the dual ones, whatever they decide to add in. And of course, the Dauntless. None of these have multiple gunners. They don't have a bottom gunner, they don't have any side gunners, like let's say a B-25 or a B-17. And I believe that's because they're just trying to directly port over aircraft from War Thunder, where they already have the models built for those in-cabin gunner seats, right? On aircraft like the B-25, you go into this 3D view around the plane instead of actually zooming into whatever gunner position you're trying to be in. So I believe that is simply ease on the developers. It would be amazing if 2 things. 1, we have those other aircraft where we can become those gunners and they can figure out a way for us to easily switch between those multiple positions. Or, which I think is even better, this option, is have a friend as your backseat gunner. So let's say, like, I have friends who play VR, but they're not necessarily into flight sims, but they could be my gunner. Like, I could go on dive bombing runs and they could be in the back trying to shoot down Zeros as we're in this 80-degree dive down. That would be amazing. That would be so fun. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if they have the infrastructure to do that within their servers. I know games like IL-2 1946, as you can see in this clip here, they have it, but that was built for that experience. So I don't know what it's going to be. I hope that we get the very best and can have multiple friends in multiple positions and big bombers, it's likely not going to happen. This is still amazing news. This is still awesome and should get you excited that you can be in that experience of the bop, 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 bop. I don't have any better description. Thanks for listening to my dumbass. I'll catch you all in the next one. Adios.